What is up, folks? How are we? You are very welcome along to the Red Mist podcast, and today it's just going to be a short pre-recorded video from me giving you my take on the news that Pep Guardiola has signed an extension at Manchester City. I'm going to be running through that. I'm going to be having a little look at the injury crisis for Arteta, Guardiola, and see if it's coming to an end. That and a few other bits and pieces about my thoughts on what's going on in the Premier League at this moment in time. As always though, myself and Lee Gunner will be back for our live show on Monday at 6 p.m. Hope you guys can join us for that. If you haven't already, please do drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and of course feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We'll also be joined next Thursday by Saeed as well, who's coming onto the channel for a chat. So we'd appreciate all of your feedback on these stories and these videos moving forward. So look, let's get straight into it. And I'm going to get into the news, as I mentioned at the start, that Pep Guardiola has signed a contract extension at Manchester City that will keep him there for at least one more season with the possibility of another one. It's a 1+1 deal, so it'll be 1 year and then an option of another one. And look, I guess there's two ways to look at this. For the broadcasters, for the Premier League in general, this is probably a good thing. Pep Guardiola is undoubtedly one of the greatest footballing minds out there at the minute. Now, regular viewers of my own content will know my take on Manchester City, but I am able to separate the genius from what I think about City. And I have to say, bring on the challenge. As a Liverpool fan, really confident with life under Arne Slot, and I'm sure you guys watching maybe as Arsenal fans or Chelsea fans or Spurs fans will probably say it is a good thing overall for the league. Might not be a good thing for us opposition fans, of course, because it probably does mean that Pep Guardiola at Manchester City are going to be competitive moving forward for years to come. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with those 115 charges in that case, but to me as an outsider, this is either one of two things. It's either a signal for Manchester City that they feel confident that they're going to beat these charges, or it's a bit of a prayer. It's a hit and hope, because if they are found guilty of some of those charges, I would be interested to know if there's a clause in Guardiola's deal, because I couldn't see him managing if City were, let's say, relegated down to League One or National League North or South. So I've got no idea. Well, it'll be National League North, wouldn't it, Craig? Because, of course, it's Manchester. So, yeah, look, it's good news for the Premier League overall. It's worrying for me, sitting here as a Liverpool fan, because, well, we know what Guardiola is. He is a top coach, and this will also, I guess, give some structure to Manchester City players who are going to know who the coach is there for another year or two. The likes of De Bruyne, will he then move on? Rodri coming back in, would he stick around now the Guardiola's there? So, as I said, good news for the Premier League overall, but maybe concerning news for us who are trying to pinch that silverware off Manchester City. I'm speaking as a Liverpool fan now when I say I'm intrigued. I genuinely want to see what Arne Slot is going to be like going up against Guardiola over the course of a few seasons. We know the titanic struggles between Klopp and Guardiola, and to win a league, or to lose a league title, I should say, with 97 points as a Liverpool fan was, well, it was hard to take. This season, though, Guardiola and Manchester City have a lot to turn around. They haven't had the greatest start to the season. 5 points behind Liverpool as I sit here recording this. So I think they have a lot still to prove and turn around. Many people still have them as favourites to go and win the Premier League this year. I'm not in that mindset yet. If they beat us at Anfield, or maybe they close that gap, but if we beat them, 8 points between Liverpool and Manchester City. So it is a good thing overall for the league, but I also want to know what you guys think about this Guardiola extension. Do you think it's an indication that City are confident that maybe they will beat those charges, or is it a bit of a hit and hope that maybe this has a bit of a knock-on effect? Interested to know what you think. Other things that I wanted to bring to your attention was, of course, the injury crises. Now, if you look at the table of injuries, it certainly is clear that there are teams who have more than Manchester City and Arsenal, but of course they've both had injuries. Coming back into this weekend though, those injury concerns are starting to be allayed for Manchester City and of course for Arsenal, so I don't think they can really use that as much of an excuse moving forward. Arsenal's injury crisis has been spoken about quite a bit and used as, I guess, excuse making in some circles. For me as a Liverpool fan, we've also had quite a few injuries this year. I guess we've been lucky that it hasn't really been the mainstay, the spine of our squad so much, other than Alisson Becker. And of course, Queven Callagher stepped in there very well. So interested to see now over the course of the next few weeks if they can get back into contention, or if maybe Liverpool, and hopefully for me, will pull a little bit further away. I also just wanted to give my take again on Ruben Amorim joining Manchester United as their head coach. This, as a Liverpool fan, I'm not afraid to admit, is the most concerned I've been since Sir Alex Ferguson left. I've looked at the other managers come into Old Trafford and go and never really been too bothered about it. But I do rate Ruben Amorim as a coach. I don't know if he'll be able to hit the ground running immediately. You would expect somewhat of a new manager bounce. Ipswich first game up, shouldn't be too difficult for United. But I'm also interested to see how seriously he takes the Europa League, because that could be a genuine pathway for United back into the Champions League. If you look through that group, you would have to say if they can get it right, if they can get performances where they should be, they would be one of the favourites to win the Europa League. But it is a long way from the performances we were seeing in Europe under Ten Hag to going and winning it. So there is a lot there for Amam to work on. The vibe around United seems to be quite good at the minute. You're seeing the pictures of him in training, working on the training pitch with the players. But another interesting fact here is many journalists have reported that Ruben Amorim's going to have to work with a bit more of a modest budget than Erik Ten Hag had. I don't know if that's because the United board feel like there's talent in that group and that Ruben Amorim maybe is the one to bring that talent out of them, or if they're just kind of fed up of throwing money at things and hoping it sticks, and they think that Ruben Amorim has to deserve and build up to getting the keys to the kingdom, shall we say. I think he's a great coach. I think he can get United up that league table, but it remains to be seen whether that'll be maybe for the European places from Champions League or Europa League. I don't know. I still think it's probably far-fetched for them to get into the Champions League, but if you look at the league table, it isn't that far of a gap, is it? 4 or 5 points gets you right back up there. Obviously, for me as a Liverpool fan right now, it's a long way up to us. And look, I can't say that enough, I'll be honest with you. I'll try my best to give you fair takes on stuff as I do this channel with Lee, but I'm always going to have a little bit of Liverpool bias in there. You wouldn't respect me if I didn't. So yeah, look, I think Amorim will come in, will do well. I'll be interested to see his first 2 team selections, who he's leaning on, who he feels that he can trust. Can he get the best out of Bruno Fernandes? Højlund up top as well. What can he do there? And will he drop Xerxes? Because I've got a feeling that he's going to be the one sacrificed eventually if they do move for Victor Gyökeres. And on Gyökeres, I should say that do my research on Ruben Amorim when he was being linked with the Liverpool job. One thing that I looked into was that relationship between Victor Gyökeres and Ruben Amorim. And it's fair to say that he rates him so highly. The player, I mean, of the coach. I'm sure the coach rates the player, but I do think he'll end up at Old Trafford. I do think they'll try to get the money back for Xerxes and then maybe in the summer go to move for Victor Gyökeres, who, as we know, has a release clause but also has a gentleman's agreement with Sporting that he could leave for about, I think it's in and around £63 million in the summer. So I do expect he'll end up at Manchester United. I do think Ruben Amorim will do well, but it remains to be seen. Can he really get United back challenging and where United fans want to be? I think he might. It might take a bit longer than maybe United fans would like, but I do think this might be the guy to get United back up there. And as a Liverpool fan, as I said, I'm anxious about it, but I'm also looking forward to the challenge. I'd love Liverpool and United to be having a title race head to head together, maybe with Arsenal. It's great if you win these title races, but if you fall away and you don't, the banter's vicious. But that's what we're in this for, isn't it? So, my friends, that is my quick take on the situation with Pep Guardiola, Manchester City, Ruben Amorim, and of course the injury concerns as well. Myself and Lee Gunner will be back on Monday for another live stream. All of these shows are going to be live, but because it was such a long time between the first one and the second one, I just wanted to keep the channel ticking over with this video. And again, thank you all for your support. It means a lot to myself and Lee, and we hope you continue to watch, continue to enjoy what we're doing, and most importantly, continue hitting that like and subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love. Bye-bye.